Shawn, we're tired of seeing snake feeding videos. There are so many of them. You can just type snake and you're gonna find a bunch of snake feeding videos. Well, you guys are absolutely correct. That's why this video is not on feeding your snake exactly, or it's not a video of me feeding my snake, but it is in fact about feeding your snake. Now, it's a very controversial subject. Some of your older information and knowledge will tell you to feed your snake in a separate container. And in some lights of it, this could seem to make sense, but in another breath, it does not. Now, what made me bring that up is I am in fact about to feed my snake, and I'm in the process of thawing out his rat. And on the back of the package, it has instructions, okay? Instructions. Feed your reptiles separately and in a secondary habitat whenever possible. Now, this is my go-to rat. I think they kind of have the market tapped. So I have no complaints with the rat itself. Everybody say hi to Spaz. This is Spaz. This is who you hear in the background. I'm sorry we had to do a take of Spaz because Spaz wanted to be on the camera. He's very loud. Okay. But anyway, so yeah, like anywhere I went, Petco's, Petland, they use this Max natural reptile food. And they're well known. And the rat is healthy, you know, before death. They take care of them. They euthanize them properly. And my snake has never had a problem. So we're going to talk about real quick what I do and why I feel it's the best reason. And then we will talk about or discuss why I feel separate containers is not the best idea. But so I thaw my rat out. I take it, I put it in a cup of cold water so that it can slowly thaw out. Just like if you were cooking meat, you want to slowly thaw it from the inside out, not the other way around. Then, after it's set for about 30 minutes, I take my blow dryer and I turn it on. And I get my rat to temperature. I got a heat gun that will check him. Like right now, he is way too cold. He has to be at 86 degrees. And once I get him to temperature, I simply drop him in my snake's enclosure, and my snake eats him with no problems usually. And I'm not going to share that in this video because I've done plenty of videos of feeding. So if you want to see that, go check out one of my other videos. So as you see, I'll set it inside his main enclosure on a rock, or I'll just set it in there on the ground by him or whatever. Now again, I'm not gonna put him actually feeding. I just wanted to show you how or what I do when I actually go to feed him. He is actually in the process of getting ready to shed. His eyes are molded over, or not molded, but malted, or you know, glazed over. So I'm not even sure he's gonna eat this rat right now. And if not, that's okay. I'll leave it in there for about an hour. If not, pull it out and we'll try again tomorrow, or just skip a feeding and wait until next Sunday. Now, some people would have you take your snake out and put it in a separate container, rather it be a plastic tote or a big old tub or something like that, and put your snake in it and then drop the food in there, rather dead or alive. This is not good for your snake for a few reasons, let alone for you. Your snake associates you opening the cage with food naturally. Unless you hook train your snake and do the whole like tapping it on the head to let it know I am not feeding you, then it's gonna associate you opening that up with I'm gonna get fed. Now, if you train it that, okay, now I'm gonna take you out, as soon as it's put into this container, it's gonna associate it with food. And the bigger your snake gets, you're not gonna necessarily want that to be the thing. Not to mention, if you start to handle it a little bit before putting it in the tote, when it's going to be expecting to go right in and then food, you're going to throw off or turn off its feed pattern, and that could also stress it out. I also personally never want my snake to associate coming out of its tank with food, period. Because I want to be able to take my snake out and socialize and, walk around with it. And if it's trained to think, well, as soon as I get pulled out, then I'm going to get food, it's always going to be looking for food. It will be in that food strike mode, and I just feel it's a lot safer to, of course, feed in its natural enclosure. Now, a valid worry, people might be worried about it ingesting some of its substrate or something around, because snakes don't have the ability to spit or grab, stuff out of their mouth. They just swallow what it is. And this could be a valid concern. And if you're truly worried about it, that's why I typically lay my rat on a rock or something. Purposely put something in there. These fake leaves over here, I could lay the rat on that and it shouldn't have nothing attached to it when it eats it. There's ways around that if you're worried about that. But I still am a voter for feeding your snake in its natural habitat. Do not feed your snake in a separate container.